have a moment that I decided I wanted to do design. It's something that I both have always done in my entire life and something that I didn't even realize I was doing. When I was a kid, I was really into subculture movements. For about 4 years, I was goth, and then I was really into Lolita style and, Japan street style. And it took me by surprise all of a sudden when people started talking to me about fashion, and I realized I had an opinion and that this was something I've always been really interested in my life. But originally, I was going to go into costume design and theater. And at some point that shifted into fashion when I realized how many amazing opportunities there are in the fashion industry, doing graphic design, doing illustration, and being able to blend my interests more as a fashion, someone in the industry.
How would you define your personal style? Do you feel like it's reflected in the work that you produce?
I guess my personal style is a bit of an amalgamation of a bunch of different things. I draw a lot on the past. I used to be very inspired by Victorian and Edwardian fashions, Rococo, and lately it's been moving a bit more towards flapper styles. I love playing around with androgyny in some ways, but at the same time my style can be described as pretty ultra feminine. In terms of how it influences my designs, I guess everything kind of draws from the same historical inspirations, playing with the past and kind of bringing it to a more fantasy level and bringing fun to it and making it a bit more interesting.
What was your inspiration for the show, for the pieces that you created for the show?
All right, well, for the collection for this show, I'm doing 2 pieces, and they're inspired by birds and the silhouettes and the colors. So one of the pieces is going to be birds of paradise, and it's all greens and blues, and they'll have headdresses made out of feathers, so their hair is just kind of feathers, and they'll have the whole silhouette of very bird-like features and long draping dresses. And the other one is inspired by ravens, and it's all in blacks with hints of very dark blues, and playing with the tonal varieties and the shape and the colors and making it's a very fantasy kind of collection. It's very fun and very elegant.
And what tips would you give anybody who's looking to get started in fashion or design?
I would say take every opportunity. Don't be afraid to push yourself. If you don't think you can do something, do it anyway. The best way to get a job is just say you can do it and then make it up as you go along. And even if you fail, at least you learned something and you can move forward with a better experience.
And you're put into a Freaky Friday situation where you can switch lads with anybody for a day. Who would it be and why?
I'm going to have to go with, I suppose I'd like to go travel to the past. Which time period? I would take what you would give me. I would be happy to just see anything. Right now, just because it's something I'm very interested in, is I'd love to go back to the 1920s and get to experience the height of the flapper movement and seeing how fashions shift and seeing how people lived. But if you threw me into Victorian England, I would be perfectly content as well.
And where can readers find out more about you and your work?
You can read more about me on my blog. It's KetziaKobrah.com. I have all of my works up there, things I'm working on right now, future plans and projects. You can also find me on Facebook, so Facebook/Ketzia Kobrah, and it's Ketzia, Ketzia, Kobrah, Kobrah.
Of these white nights.